Hey, what's up you guys? Today we're going to be learning about perspective. So perspective is when we take the things that we see in real life, objects, tables, stools, chairs, anything, and relate it to where we're at. That's called perspective. And when we can do that on a two-dimensional surface, like a piece of paper, it's gonna make things look more realistic. So we have, today we're gonna be making a city, and in the city, our viewpoint is actually gonna be in the middle of the road. Should we ever be in the middle of the road? No, but I would not advise that. But that's gonna give us a real good vanishing point, because it's gonna show that road get smaller and smaller, basically into a V, where it eventually is going to be disappearing into what's called the vanishing point. So when things that are closer to you, do you think that they're going to be bigger or smaller? They're going to be bigger because they're right up next to you. The farther they get away, the smaller they appear. Just like if you were on top of a building, you're looking down, they look teeny tiny, but they're not actually any tinier than they were the other day. It's just your distance between them. So we're showing that between the building that we're closest to the building that we're furthest away. It might get blurrier, harder to see, smaller, that sort of thing. So I went out to the hallway and I got into 3 different spots. Really close, in the middle, farther away, just so you can see. Yeah, you can obviously see more of me. I'm larger when I'm closest, and I do get smaller away and harder to see as I go further back. So it's a little bit tricky. This project has lots of ins and outs, but it's definitely going to make you a better artist. I think you'll really enjoy the fact when it all comes together. It might not look right, and that's okay, but just getting like even just a thing or two down from this project is really going to advance what you know about art, and put you in a position that you can realistically show where you're standing, your viewpoint as the artist on paper, about the things that are around you. So it's a really cool tool to have, and I hope you enjoy. Don't get frustrated. All I'm really looking for you to do is like the line work, and once we're back into school, we will color it and like do more with it. Okay, so that being said, it's a bummer that we're not together, but it's also a really good opportunity to follow the steps on video, so you can pause it and take as much time as you want with it, and then proceed on or rewind or whatever. Okay, so I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to have you guys back in class. You'll be submitting what you have done, the line work, hopefully some Sharpie on top if we can, and then so I can't wait to see that and see you in real life. All right, bye guys, have a great day. Hey guys, okay, so I'm gonna go through some examples of what this should look like at the very end. We don't necessarily have to do all that color for what I'm asking for you for today, but this is eventually what it's supposed to look like in one way or another with your creative spin. So I'm gonna show you more than one, and I want you to just kind of look at them as I put them under this. So kind of notice the similarities. And then this is kind of more what I want it to look like. This one's a more advanced one because it's showing more roads on here, but I would like something that's in pencil and then in Sharpie or whatever marker crayon you have. Okay, not with it colored, but something just showing the line work of this project. So I hope that you're noticing that in every single one of these, the road is coming to an end, and it's getting and narrowing to a point, almost as a V, right? And then what I also want you to notice is that the sidewalk, it gets larger went to the front of the paper, and then gets smaller and they get closer together as they go back. Okay, and then they all have different styles. This one is a good example of how even the signs start big and then they get small. These are lined up all in the same area of the building, but I'll teach you how to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna just go for this. I'm gonna try to do it in Sharpie. I should be doing it in pencil first, right? But I think you'll just be able to see it better in Sharpie if I do it that way. You know what? I take that back. I'm gonna do it in pencil because I forgot. We're gonna draw a horizon line. The horizon line is the line that separates land from sky. The reason why it is showing the buildings higher than this imaginary line is because these buildings are built up from the ground, so they're shown going past the horizon line. Okay, so I'm gonna pick in the middle of my paper. I'm gonna draw a horizontal line, and then I'm gonna draw a vanishing point. The vanishing point should be in the middle, and that's where your road is gonna come to an end. Right there. So since it comes to an end, we are going to draw the V. We can like freehand the V, or we can come out. You want to do it wide, but you don't have to go all the way to the edge, okay? Okay, so with the extra amount that you have, you're going to come up. You see where this line ends, and I have some room here. I'm going to do a rectangle. So I'm going to do a vertical line coming up past this line. And I'm actually going to do a flat line here, because I'm seeing the side of the building. So there's not going to be any distortion with that. That's going to be my flat rectangle shape. Can I erase this? Now for the top of my building, I'm going to take my ruler, line my vanishing point up to the corner of my building. And I'm going to make a line like that. Okay. So I don't need the horizon line anymore. Lines that go vertical to your paper, up and down, those are going to be straight. Anything that goes to the vanishing point that would be technically horizontal, it's going to be on a diagonal. Okay, so just like my road, notice how it's getting smaller? Well, I'm going to also do the buildings. They're going to start by being able to see most of the building to them getting smaller and closer together. So this building is going to be the widest. And my ruler is straight up and down to the paper. It's not crooked at all. Okay, so this one's going to be pretty wide too. And I'm going to get closer, 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 and closer to where these buildings you hardly can even see anymore. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the other side. Again, you shouldn't put your line straight in the corner because we want to be able to see one of the sides of the building. So we're going to have a ruler come up and I'm going to make it the same. I'm going to have it go up the same amount as my other building did on that side. I'm going to do a horizontal line that is, again, straight and flat because it's showing the flat side of the building. I'm going to erase my horizon line. The horizon line was basically just to set that vanishing point. The vanishing point's important because all your lines line up to that. So again, corner of the building, and then you line it up to your vanishing point. Corner of that rectangle down to the vanishing point. Alright, so just like I did with these lines, I'm going to make lines that separate from building to building. I'm going to start out wide because from where I'm standing, which is here, I can see more of that building than the ones further down. Closer together, closer together, closer together, closer together. Okay, now let's work on our sidewalk. Sidewalk's gonna line up from the edge of the building, and just like this was a clock going counterclockwise, I'm gonna keep it at the vanishing point. If it helps you using the corner of the ruler, you can. So maybe put your corner of your ruler and line it up exactly to where the buildings are. And you go tick, tick, tick. And however wide you want your sidewalk. I'm going to make mine slightly bigger. And then you start here. And as you notice, the sidewalk's vanishing too. That's slightly off the vanishing point. So, okay, corner of the ruler to the vanishing point, line it up to the buildings, tick, tick, tick. Make it kind of the same width as your last sidewalk, okay? Now I'm going to do lines on my sidewalk. Those should be completely horizontal. My first sidewalk line should be large because it's the closest thing to me, and this should be parallel to my paper. Okay, make a straight line here, straight line here, go up a little bit, straight line here, straight line here, go up a little bit, straight line here, straight line here. Okay, they're not slanted, they're not diagonal in any way. Okay, now I'm like wanting them to get smaller every time I make a new one. Not too much smaller because then you'll just have a bunch of teeny tiny ones way too soon. This is kind of advanced. If you want to skip this part, you can. You don't have to do this for your example. I'm going to show you how to do a curve. So for those ones that are really getting the concept and want to push themselves to do a little bit more, we're going to do again the vanishing point. We're going to line it up to the side of the sidewalk. We're going to just slightly move it over because curves aren't that big. And then we're going to hold it, if you want to do, let's do the corner of the ruler, line it up to the sidewalk, move it over a bit, and then we're going to draw a line. Okay, in order to show that this is a curve and it's on a different angle than what's going far back, we're going to make those lines go up and down. So I'm going to just freehand this, but it's going to go straight vertically. So that's kind of like the concept of doing a 3D box. They start out long and they show more space, And as they get closer to the vanishing point, they get smaller and closer together. Alright, doors. Doors, they're gonna line up to the vanishing point. So let's use the corner of the ruler, make that stay with the vanishing point. My doors are gonna look larger on the buildings that are closest to me. And you know what, to make this easy, I'm just gonna do a light line here, because even though my door shouldn't be taking up the whole width of that building, then I have a good guideline to make my vertical lines off of. So the vertical lines stick with the vertical lines of the building, right? So I want a vertical line top of my door all the way down. Move it over. Okay, do you see this door? So the top of the door is merging with the rest of the vanishing point. And then I'm gonna take away my guidelines because I'm done with that door. I'm gonna move over, vertical line. This is still gonna be a pretty big door. So I have straight vertical lines. You see that door again? I'm gonna erase those lines. Okay, windows, same thing. Besides, you're gonna do the top of the windows and the bottom of the windows. So the windows can be your actual signs, or they can look something like this. You know, however you wanna do it. So we're just gonna make them all on the same plane. We're gonna use this as a reference. Everything goes back to the vanishing point. So no matter how high you want your windows or sign, you want them above your doors, right? So corner my ruler to the vanishing point. This will be the bottom of my signs. And then I'm gonna go up, 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 up. And then I'm gonna do the top of my signs. Okay, and then you can customize it. This is, again, the flat side of the building. So I don't want my sign to go on the spot where, you know, if people are walking, they're not really gonna see it anyways. A way to really show that this is the side of the building shows, you know, this brick, you know. So maybe you wanna do a design or something, or maybe there's some art, maybe like a mural on this side that you can kind of see of, like, you know, a flower or whatever. Maybe it's a flower shop, so they got a flower mural on the side, but that is, again, the side of the thing. And then you can make this anything. So really the words would go on here as the width of it. So even though this is a bad example, and I can't flow, I couldn't fit flowers necessarily, so maybe it won't even have that. Maybe some of it will be a design or whatever. I'm not going to get too far into that. Flowers, right? So, and then you can customize it however you want, okay? And then from there, we're not going to get too deep into anything else. So if you want to just do the sky and draw things in there, and those aren't going to go to the vanishing point because those are past that. They're past the horizon line. That's the sky part. It doesn't relate to the vanishing point. Okay, so this has a tie-dye look to it. This has just a little sun. So yeah, there's there. I mean, again, just try your best, but I know a lot of you guys have been playing around with dimensions and trying to do three-dimensional shapes onto paper. So this is a great project for this, okay? So again, just try your best. There's nothing exactly I'm looking for besides an effort, right? And again, there'll be a different, possibly there'll be a different lesson here to choose from that's a more basic concept of that. Okay, all right, have fun. You're awesome, and can't wait to see these and go over it with you when you're back in class. All right, have a great day. Bye.